Leetcode Python challenges for data science. Today I'll be doing this one, first unique character in a string. It's part of Leetcode's easy module. And the problem is that given a string s, find the first non-repeating character in it and return its index. If it does not exist, return -1. Example, input Leetcode this string and output is 0 because the first L is a unique character. So I'm returning the index of the first unique character. And second example, love Leetcode output 2 because here this V is the unique character and its position, that is index position, is 2. So I'm outputting 2. All right, and these are the two constraints right here that we have to keep in mind. Okay, so let's just move to my VS Code. So first, I will go through a couple of alternatives to solve this problem. The first one is a kind of linear time solution. Let's say, so the method is first unique character, and what I need to do, I'm planning to do first define a dictionary, d equal to dict, and then for c in s, d c, d is our dictionary, just the regular stuff that I'm doing while you are in a counting type of a situation. So here I'm just counting this DC. Okay, so that was counting, and then for I also need to do a search in the dictionary. DSI return I. Sorry, this is S because that's our string. And if none of them are satisfied, then just return -1 as per the requirement of the problem. So let's just copy this method, go back to my UTL, go back to my Leetcode and just paste it here. So here, basically what I did is that in this line right here, I updated these dict with the counter kind of number. So if a particular letter occurs more than once, for example, maybe 3, this counter will keep a count of 3 because each time I'm looping through each element in S, I'm actually increasing these by +1. And that's how this works. And then in the next loop right here, I'm just looping through the length of x and just checking that whether each particular letter in a string has a count equal to 1. That is all. And now it's time to check if it's producing the correct result. So I have my string here, Leetcode, and I'm printing the result of executing this first unique char function. Let's run this. And we get 0. That's expected result because the first index L itself is the one which occurs uniquely in this whole string. Yeah, so the original problem was given a string, find the first non-repeating character in it and return its index. If it doesn't exist, return -1. Okay, now I just need to print this D here to see that, to actually visualize that how the dict is showing me the counter. print D. And now I'm running this file again. Yeah. So this is the dictionary that I will get, and it clearly shows the each of the character and the corresponding counter, that is the number of times they occur. So now that becomes with this dict, this next loop becomes very clear, that because in the next loop all I'm doing is checking that if any of the letter has a count equal to 1 and just returning that particular index. Okay, so that was one way of implementing it. Now let's try another way. So let's comment this out. And here I'm going to make use of the set module. So first, let's get all the characters from the original string with a set. And let's print these characters to see what I'm getting. Run this file. Oops, some problem. Cleared the output and running it again. Yeah, so this is what I will get from the set. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I need to get the mean. Let's do this. Mean of s dot index. Sure. S dot index of chr, that will give me the index for char in s, for char in chars characters. If s dot count char equal to 1 only. So that will return me the index of the non-repeating character, but I also need to return -1 if that is not found. So I can just append the or clause here, -1, and just return this. Yeah, that this method becomes slightly smaller in size. So let's see if it does work. And now I'm also including a second string from the example of the Leetcode, love Leetcode, and run this file. Yeah, seems to be it's working fine. And we can see that when I do print chars, it's producing a unique set. That is, the keys are not repeated, obviously. Okay, so this is working. Now I'm going to do another alternative to this. So let's do third alternative. And actually just comment it out. Okay. So here I am going to use all letters in the English alphabet. That is, I will have a fixed string called A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H up to Z. So basically now I'm not going to need these set anymore. So I can just directly apply. So what I'm going to do, this is kind of a single liner solution. So it may be less readable for some, and that's one drawback, but let's do it. So return mean, 1 second. Index is dot index L for L in, and here I am going to actually supply all the letters of the English language. So A, B, C, D up to Z. Okay. If, now the if condition, because the later cannot be repeated. So if S dot count L equal to 1. And this mean method of Python also takes a default argument, which is a default return in case this condition is not met. And there, as a requirement of the problem, I'm going to supply -1. Yeah. I think is a syntax correct? Let's see. Default -1. Yes, the syntax is right. Okay, now I'm going to just copy this to my Leetcode directly to see if it is being accepted as a solution. Return. Okay. And when I run this code here directly in the IDE of the Leetcode, it got accepted as an accepted answer. Let's just submit it to see if all the tests are passing. Cool. All the tests passed and my runtime was 75 milliseconds faster than 97.96% of Python 3 online submission. Okay, that's not too bad. Now let's actually see my other solution. That is a second alternative from here. Yep. I'm going to just copy this part, go to the IDE and paste it here. Comment out the print and then run code. Yep, got accepted. Submit. Yeah, that also ran very fine. And this time the runtime is 73 milliseconds faster than 98.21% of Python 3 online submission. All right, so that's sorted, but let's first check my first solution right here, which was with the use of dict. The performance of this one should not be as good as other ones, but let's just see. Comment out the print statement. Let's run the code. Got accepted. Submit. Okay, obviously, as we expected, the runtime here is 261 milliseconds faster than 23.63%. So this obviously is not a performance-wise, this is not as good a solution. All right, so this was about this challenge, and see you in the next one.